When Joe asked me and I said yes, I was like, I'm going to have to relearn this because I don't remember the last time that I sang this. And like,
new album.
So good to be back.
New album tomorrow. You know, I was thinking about this.
MetLife Stadium, August 10th, 2025. Tens of thousands of voices hit the same pitch and then fall silent. Joe Jonas steps to the mic, smiles like he knows a secret, and asks one question. You remember Mitchie Torres, right? The noise detonates. Demi Lovato walks out in black leather and calm fire. This Is Me doesn't start so much as it erupts. Joe Jonas locking eyes, Demi Lovato's vocals slicing clean through the night, Kevin Jonas and Nick Jonas grinning like they've time traveled.
So Demi Lovato is back with a new single, Fast, and I've been excited for this release because I've heard the snippet on TikTok below.
For a heartbeat, 2008 crashes into right now. But the moment isn't just a duet, it's a message. Why these songs? Why this city? Why tonight? The internet is already picking sides. Nostalgia, ship wars, rumors. But the real story isn't on the timeline. It's in the choices. The silence between the notes and the two words everyone is whispering this morning. Because what happened on that stage was bigger than a reunion.
Carry Me is the song you wrote for her when you proposed.
Yeah.
Right? How are you feeling on that day? Because like, one, you're proposing, two, you're showing an original song you wrote for.
It rewrote how we think about their past, and it hints at what they're willing to do next. And that part, the part nobody saw from the nosebleeds, is where everything gets interesting. But the shock on stage wasn't the most revealing moment of the night. It landed like a verdict. Opening night, hometown soil, 20-year milestone, and the first thing they do is invite the one person who can collapse 2 decades in a single note. That's not a coincidence. That's intent. The brothers set the table with familiar heat.
How did Demi make you a better person?
I think she's just like so, wise. And
Then hand the story to the duo that made millions of kids believe they could sing their way out of doubt. In one move, the tour stops being a playlist and becomes a statement. The song choice is the tell. This Is Me isn't just a hit, it's the origin myth, the scene where a shy voice becomes a force. Performed now, it reads like a manifesto. This is who we became, not just who we were. Wouldn't change a thing, answers it with grown-up clarity. Two perspectives, stubborn and honest, meeting in the middle.
So Demi Lovato opened up about her own weight loss and said that she accidentally lost.
In 2008, it felt like puppy love. In 2025, it sounds like lived-in truth. The sound has changed too. Demi's edges are sharper, the vowels cut cleaner, the belts carry weight instead of sugar. Joe sings with restraint and intent, less sparkle, more center. Kevin and Nick don't chase spotlight. They hold the floor steady so the memory can stand on something solid. It's evolution without apology. The songs don't pretend to be teenagers again. They bring the teenagers forward to meet the adults. That's why the stadium reaction didn't feel like a novelty scream. It felt like recognition. Thousands of people, same breath, same lyrics, same release, because the tracks didn't freeze in time. They matured with the audience. The chorus hits, and you can feel 20 different versions of the same coming-of-age montage running in people's heads. First crushes, first heartbreaks, first real confidence. All of it packed into 4 minutes that refuse to fade.
Obviously Demi, major superstar.
Yeah.
How is that like? Do you guys collab at all? I mean like.
The geography matters. New Jersey is not random for them. Hometown context turns a guest spot into a homecoming. The message reads loud, this legacy belongs to us, and to the people who carried it with us. Nostalgia works best when it's local, when it's shared, when it comes with receipts. There's also calculation here in the best sense. Opening nights are where you design headlines. A surprise of this size guarantees the chatter you need to power a long run. Clips loop easily. Captions write themselves, and algorithms love a reunion with recognizable faces and instant payoff. It's smart. It's also sincere. Those two things can live in the same room. What didn't happen is almost as important. No long speech, no awkward winks at the past, no neon arrow pointing at rumor fuel. Just melody, memory, and posture. Confidence lives in the quiet choices. You perform the two most loaded songs from that era.
Can you describe what it is to feel, like, be in love or know that you're in love with someone?
The way that I know.
You do them clean, and you let the audience write the rest in capital letters. By the time the last chorus fades, something has shifted. The tour isn't only a celebration of longevity. It's a reframe of how the story gets told from here. Less museum, more living archive. Less remember when, more watch what we do with it now. That's the pressure point that broke the noise. Not the cameo, the coherence, the feeling that everyone in the building just watched an old storyline shed its skin.
I know we're all happy that, like, Demi and Joe sang, but
Reunions hit hardest when the history is complicated. Start at the spark, 2008. Two kids carrying a Disney machine on their backs. He's Shane Gray, the guarded frontman. She's Michi Torres, a voice trying to be brave. The duet turns into a doorway. Fame walks them through. By 2010, curiosity becomes dating. Fast, public, short. They try to hold the relationship and the brand at the same time. It doesn't last. The split is careful.
I knew that I felt like we connected really quickly.
The friendship doesn't go with it. The world keeps moving. The Jonas Brothers run hot, then cool, then pause in 2013. Demi fights bigger battles, pressure, pain, recovery. She OD'd in 2018 and survives. The comeback is not quiet. It's work, therapy, and grit built into new music. 2016 gives a flash of the old magic, an unannounced duet in Los Angeles. Not a reboot, a reminder. They can share a stage without reopening a chapter. 2019, the brothers flip the switch back on with Sucker.
Man in your life?
I think what I went through is I had a phase of dating older men and dating older guys because
stadiums return. So does the sense that the story is unfinished, just not in the way people expect. 2024, Joe closes a personal book with a finalized divorce. It is public, messy around the edges, and then it settles. He resets. Focus narrows. Family, band, stage, craft. 2025, Demi anchors a different kind of headline. Married to Jordan Jutes Lutz in late spring. The narrative shifts from survival to stability. When she talks about the MetLife moment as healing. It lands because you can feel the miles it took to get there. Thread it all together and the through line is simple. Proximity without drama. Two people who learned how to keep the legacy without feeding the soap opera. That's why the reunion reads clean. It isn't pretending the past was easy. It's proof they outgrew it. While fans argued about old flames, their real lives look very different now. Snapshot, 2025. Demi Lovato walks on stage with more than a belt and a backstory. She's wearing a ring and a reset.
Demi Lovato's boyfriends, 2008 to 2025. You won't believe who she dated next. 1. Joe.
After years of pressure and a near-fatal OD'd in 2018, she rebuilt, brick by brick. Voice, boundaries, circle. The marriage to Jordan Jutes Lutz this spring wasn't a headline grab, it was a line in the sand. New chapter, new rules. You can hear it in the tone, less sugar, more steel. Notes land like decisions. What made MetLife feel different was the posture. Demi wasn't visiting a past life, she was curating it.
That's kind of like similar vibes to what Iris is about. And Iris is like me and Demi's song.
The leather, the stance, the way she lets the chorus breathe, none of it reads as throwback cosplay. It's authority. And when she later called the night healing, it tracked. Healing isn't soft here, it's control. It's making an old room feel safe on your terms. Joe Jonas stands in a different kind of clarity. The 2024 divorce finished a long public untangling. No big speeches, no pity tour. He tightened the orbit, brothers, band, stagecraft. You can see the work in the small choices. Cleaner phrasing, steadier breath, less showboating, more center.
Yes.
Which healed all of us.
It healed me too.
How did it all come to be?
Honestly, Joe...
He's still the front man, but the volume knob on the ego is set to serve the song. The band dynamic has matured with him. Kevin's rhythm feels like a spine, Nick's precision snaps the edges into focus, and Joe threads between them with a quieter kind of confidence. Stadiums are loud, but this version of the Jonas Brothers plays like they're not trying to outrun anything anymore. Put the two arcs side by side and the reunion reads like grown-ups honoring a shared origin without reopening the old plot. Demi's life is anchored. Joe's life is simplified.
Why doesn't Demi Lovato ever show her Disney knees during performances? The reason behind it is shocking. Recently, Demi was invited to the Jonas...
The chemistry, real, yes, romantic. Not the point, it plays as professional fluency. The kind you only get after surviving the same machine and choosing not to be consumed by it. That's why the MetLife moment felt so measured. No winks, no bait, two careers that took their hits, standing upright, choosing songs that say, "We know exactly what this meant to you and to us." Of course, the internet doesn't deal in nuance. It wants a label, a leak, a sequel. And that's where the calm on stage met the chaos online.
Did you notice Demi Lovato's knees while she was singing at the Jonas Brothers concert? The heartbreaking truth behind her effort to get rid of Disney knees might...
Overnight, the timeline split into tribes. The nostalgia purists posted shaky stadium clips and wrote mini essays about how those choruses carried them through middle school. No gossip, just gratitude. The shippers zoomed in on glances, harmony lines, and the half smile before the last chorus, stitching it into a case file that reads like, "Jemmy is back, admit it." Then came the referees, the people reminding everyone that real lives exist off stage. Demi Lovato is married in 2025.
Did you notice Joe Jonas's trembling hand when he hugged Demi Lovato? 3 signs indicate that he has never forgotten Demi. Number 1.
Joe Jonas is post-divorce and rebuilding, and friendship doesn't need a plot twist to matter. The algorithms did what algorithms do. A single walk-on became a loop. On TikTok, the second Demi hits the light, the crowd's pitch spikes. The clip restarts before the cheers finish. On X, reaction threads turned into choose your own ending. Either a love story hiding in plain sight, or 2 pros celebrating a chapter that made them. The same 2 minutes meant 10 different things depending on who hit replay. The theory crafting got creative. Some people clocked the set list as a message. Pairing "This Is Me" with "Wouldn't Change a Thing" felt like past and present negotiating in the open. Others swore the hug at the end lasted a beat longer than casual. Edits multiplied, hashtags multiplied faster. Even the "Be Serious" crowd fed the fire by telling everyone else to calm down. Meanwhile, the receipts crowd showed up. They pointed to on-record lines about staying friends.
How did it all come to be?
Honestly, Joe just asked me, like, last week, was like, "Hey, what do you..."
About mutual respect that outlived a brief 2010 romance, about choosing the work over the soap opera. They underlined the grown-up context. Demi's stability now, Joe's clarified focus. The argument wasn't no chemistry, it was chemistry isn't destiny. What added fuel was the silence. No long captions, no cheeky winks, just clean performance, then exit. In a culture that explains everything, not explaining anything reads louder.
Okay, so this is some of the craziest nonsense I've seen. So Demi Lovato on social media the other day announced that she actually got engaged again. This time she's been engaged.
People filled the quiet with their preferred narrative, and the debate became the marketing without anyone having to say a word. By midday, timelines felt like a group chat with 1,000 speakers. One camp sobbing to the bridge, One camp drawing red strings between old interviews. One camp insisting the only thing that matters is that the songs still land. All three can be true. That's why the moment refused to die after the last note. And then, right when the discourse started to peak.
What color me surprised when I get home and I see Demi Lovato came out during the Jonas Brothers concert. I needed a positive after the day I've had, and this...
2 words bubbled back up that changed the tone of the conversation entirely. Joe casually dropped them recently, and that's where the rumor mill finds fresh oxygen. By morning, the internet had boiled the night down to a headline it could hold in one breath. Camp Rock 3? Not a confirmation, not a leak, just a question mark with jet fuel. Edits stitched the MetLife duet into mock trailers. Thread titles wrote themselves. If the reunion was the spark, those 2 words were the oxygen. Here's why it stuck.
Demi Lovato reacts to Camp Rock scenes.
Sequels aren't just stories, they're systems. The original songs are evergreen, the characters are baked into a generation's muscle memory, and the talent has only gotten stronger. You don't have to explain who Mitchie or Shane are to anyone who needed tissues during This Is Me. The pitch writes itself. The kids grew up, so did the music. But the algorithm's fantasy and reality aren't the same thing. To move from trending question to greenlight, you need 5 planets to align. Cast schedules, contracts, songs, platform strategy.
We're celebrating our 10th year of friendship this year. So you dated
his brother,
Joe?
Yeah.
And a script that respects the past without embalming it. That last part is the trap most nostalgia sequels fall into. Wax museum scenes with modern lighting. If this ever happens, it can't be cosplay. It has to feel like 2025 earned the right to revisit 2008. Still, the timing makes the theory seductive. A 20-year tour that re-centers the brothers' origin story. A surprise cameo that proves the chemistry still travels.
We're growing together and it feels so healthy, you know? And there's like this partnership there that is just so...
A fan base that now spans parents and their kids. Add the fact that Demi's voice lives in a heavier lane now and the Jonas catalog is stadium tough. Suddenly, the musical language for a modern installment exists. The songs could breathe bigger. There's also the platform math. Legacy IP with built-in sing-alongs is streaming catnip, but it only works if the creatives steer. A safe, glossy redo would set off alarms. A sharper, more lived-in take.
You and your beautiful fiance, who I love the way he loves you, and I don't know you guys.
Older characters' higher stakes music that hits like a headliner set instead of a talent show could actually justify itself. Call it growth scored. The fan theory threads even map out arcs. Mitchie as a producer pulling new talent out of their shell, Shane navigating fame without losing the plot, a final act that lets the classic duet land with adult weight. Are these storyboards real? Number, they're wish casting. But smart wish casting reveals what the audience will pay attention to if the call ever comes.
I'm in therapy once a week. Without fail, I have been for probably 7 years now, once a week.
And yes, the question mark matters. As long as it's a question, everybody gets to project their best version onto it. That's partly why no one close to the situation is rushing to feed the rumor. Ambiguity does more work than answers right now. It keeps the tour hot, the edits looping, and the possibility window open. So is Camp Rock 3 actually happening? Today, it's a vibe, not a verdict. But the reunion proved the foundation is still load-bearing. If someone decides to build, there's a real house to make.
Cool. Do you remember the keyboard scene? I don't know what you're talking about.
One that plays to who they are now, not who they were then. If the reunion was the spark, the tour is the oxygen, and that's where the brand logic gets interesting next. Anniversaries are leverage. A 20-year tour isn't just a party, it's architecture. You stack moments that convert emotion into action, tickets, streams, headlines, and memory. Opening night in a hometown stadium is step 1. A precision guest who collapses 2 decades into 4 minutes is step 2.
But can someone please find me these pants? Hello, excuse the state of me, but I think that I might be exactly who you're looking for.
Everything after that is echo. Surprise cameos are efficient marketing. One walk-on and the press writes itself. Thousands of phones become a distribution network. Clips loop, captions pre-write, algorithms get a clean narrative spine. Iconic reunion, instant payoff. That's reach without a press conference. That's ad spend you don't have to buy. The catalog math is simple. A live This Is Me sends day one fans back to the soundtrack, then forward into the current discographies.
I think it's happened more so with girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you describe yourself as
Pansexual.
Old tracks spike. New tracks hitch a ride. Playlists refresh. A moment on stage becomes a week of streams, which becomes a month of discovery for people who missed the first wave. Nostalgia isn't just sentiment, it's a funnel. There's brand housekeeping here too. The Jonas Brothers reframe themselves as legacy and now, not legacy then. Demi reframes as authority, not alumni. When you center the music and refuse to feed gossip, you teach the audience how to talk about you. The story you don't tell is as important as the one you do. The guest choice wasn't random genre glue. Demi's sound has moved heavier. The brothers' stadium pop has tightened. Put them together and the blend reads as grown. Cut edges, bigger lungs, less glitter, more grain. That's how you modernize a Disney-era memory without turning it into cosplay. Same characters, higher stakes, stronger voices. Geography did half the work. New Jersey gives the reunion a home frame instead of a stunt frame. It makes the moment communal, not transactional.
I just did what my body wanted to do, and I came up with a really cringy dance move.
When the crowd feels like they were invited to a family thing, they protect it. They share it harder. They police the narrative for you. Tour logic loves a tentpole. Launch with something you can't repeat every night, and the rest of the dates borrow heat from the opener. Fans arrive hunting for the next twist, another guest, a deep cut, a setlist switch. That anticipation keeps timelines warm between shows. Warm timelines sell the next city. And yes, the Camp Rock 3 ? Helps, even as a rumor. It keeps the IP oxygenated without committing to anything. The possibility becomes its own product. Edits, think pieces, fantasy posters. Meanwhile, the real product this tour benefits from the noise floor staying high. Add it up and the strategy is clean. Remind people why they loved you, prove who you are now, and let the audience carry the campaign while you keep the message disciplined. The reunion checked every box on that playbook. But the most powerful beat wasn't commercial at all, it was personal.
Demi Lovato is still the it girl. I mean, this wedding was a star-studded event, so we have to do a run.
And it explained the calm you could feel between the notes. What echoed loudest after the last chorus wasn't a note, it was a word Demi used later, healing. Not the gauzy kind, the practical kind. The kind that takes a place that once felt complicated and makes it livable again. Walking into a stadium that holds your origin story and leaving with your shoulders lower, that's not nostalgia, that's repair. The proof lived off the jumbotrons. Backstage, the brothers didn't treat Demi like a guest star from a past life.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen.
They treated her like family now. Time made room for new people and new boundaries. They spent time getting to know Jordan Jutslutz, the husband who represents that reset. When the people who were part of your coming of age also welcome the person who anchors your present, the past stops feeling like a trap. It becomes a room you can visit without losing yourself. That's why the performance read so calm. No winks to feed rumor, no lingering beats engineered for gossip. Just two pros choosing songs that carry weight and letting them do their work.
bro. I was today 8 years old when I found out who Demi Lovato's husband is. Boy, girl.
Healing doesn't always announce itself. It shows up as restraint. It looks like eye contact that says, "We're good," then moves the spotlight back to the music. There's a blueprint here for surviving a machine that eats young artists. You learn to separate the memory from the myth. Memory says, "Those songs changed us." Myth says, "Those songs owe us a sequel in real life." At MetLife, they honored the memory and refused the myth. Demi's tone, steel with warmth, made that boundary obvious. Joe's phrasing, surer, quieter, respected it. Even the hugs told the truth. Not a cliffhanger, not a headline prompt. Closure without a door slam. Continuity without a promise it doesn't need to make. The reunion worked because it didn't try to rewrite what came before. It reframed it. The kid chapter gets to stay golden, and the adult chapter gets to be clean. And when Demi called it healing, fans felt permission to feel that too. You can love an era without demanding it repeat. You can revisit a scene without reliving the cost. That's what matured artists offer their audience. A safe way back. Of course, the calm on stage only made one question louder online. Because ambiguity invites projection, and projection is the internet's favorite sport. And there's one last question nobody can agree on. Two readings fit the same footage. The strategic one says this was engineered. Hometown opener, anniversary frame, a guest with maximum cross-generational pull, and two songs that come preloaded with goosebumps. That's textbook launch night design. Set a tentpole, let the clips do inventory, keep the narrative disciplined. No captions needed when the edit writes itself. The human reading is simpler. Friends with deep history share a stage because it feels right. Not to stoke a ship war, not to plant a sequel, but to honor a chapter that shaped all of them. The looks aren't clues, they're fluency. Two artists who can still meet in the middle of a chorus without a rehearsal montage. You don't have to script chemistry that familiar. Both readings can live in the same moment. Professionals know how to make timing work for them. That doesn't cancel the sincerity. It contains it. The brothers get their stadium ignition. Demi gets a reclaimed room. Fans get proof the songs still carry. Everyone wins without promising anything they don't intend to deliver. If this were a pure stunt, you'd expect breadcrumbs, teasers, winks, sound bites designed to feed the rumor economy.
Spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now.
Really? Mm-hmm. Do you know what's in here?
I don't care. Don't.
Instead, you got restraint. No dangling hashtags, no coy interviews, just performance, exit, silence. That's not indifference, that's control. Ambiguity becomes a feature, not a bug. On the flip side, if it were purely vibes, the choices wouldn't be so clean. You don't accidentally pick the two most symbolically loaded duets from a franchise and drop them on the first night of a legacy tour in your home state. That's intent, even if the intent isn't the internet's favorite storyline. So what was it?
I'm not a guitar player, and so it took me like a week just to write this song on guitar.
A precise, heartfelt move that did double duty. Emotion first, headlines as a side effect. It acknowledges the past without relapsing into it and keeps the door open for future collaboration without turning the night into a press release. The art led, the optics followed. That's why the discourse won't settle. People want a verdict when the point was the and, strategic and sincere, nostalgic and new, closure and continuation. The moment works because it refuses to shrink to one answer.
The weight just came off, and in a way it reminded me of one of my skinny mindset videos of the ultimate
Which leaves us here. The question mark is intact, the clips keep looping, and the story feels bigger than a throwback. Whether or not anything official comes next, the next move is already in motion. The way we talk about their legacy just changed. Either way, the ripple effects are here, so let's land this where it belongs. Legacy over soap opera. Strip away the edits and the theories, and what's left is simple. Two artists stepped into a memory and made it breathe again. This Is Me didn't just return, it matured.
Who I am, and I feel the same exact way. Like I could, I can be naked and feel beautiful. I can...
Wouldn't Change a Thing sounded less like a sequel and more like a principle. The reunion worked because it refused to replay the past as gossip. It treated the past as craft. The night closed a loop and opened a lane. Demi Lovato stood in authority, not nostalgia. Joe Jonas led with control, not spectacle. The brothers framed it like family, not a stunt. Call it strategy, call it sentiment.
Waiting for years. And even though I wasn't there the one time.
It was both. And that balance is why the moment keeps echoing after the lights went up. If a new chapter ever arrives, another duet, a project, even the 3-word rumor with the question mark, it will land because of what happened here. History acknowledged, boundaries respected, music first. And if nothing official follows, the win stands. The story doesn't need a twist to matter. So we leave MetLife with the only answer that fits the footage. Legacy is louder than conjecture. The songs still carry. The people behind them grew up. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do with an old headline is sing it better than you did the first time.